strictness about the content indexness. Facebook ad issues. You're not alone. Apparently a lot of people are experiencing. There was some sort of snafu. Snapchat launches Snap Connect. Oh my God, your life will never be the same. Sacha Baron Cohen's scathing tweet. Do you care? Twitter labels 12 Trump tweets as misleading as a surprise to no one. Influencer marketing tips. Spoiler alert, they're common sense. Social media responds to Alex Trebek's typo. Fix that. Rest in peace, Alec. We love you. Hey, guess what? Show starts right about 3, 2, 1. Okay. Google more strict about indexed content, really? Did you know that according to SearchEngineJournal.com, ever since the May Broadcore update rolled out, Google has been a lot stricter about what content they'll spend their indexing resources on. If you watch videos online, you'll see people, SEO people mostly, talking about how you should only create the best content ever. All content should be the greatest possible content. Well, if you're like most people, you don't have time to spend all month creating one piece of content. That being said, this is the reality we happen to find ourselves in. Back to the article. It seems they're done with being fed low-quality content, rightfully so. I mean, it's not surprising, is it, that Google is over it when it comes to having to index garbage. Now, we've talked about zombie pages before on the show, which is to say you have most likely many pages on your website that are garbage. They're blog posts from 2016. Here's my problem with zombie pages. You go back and you delete those zombie pages. Guess what? The links that you created to those pages are now broken, so you'd have to go redirect them. Doesn't it make more sense to simply focus on quality content moving forward? Now, everybody is saying, oh, give me 1,000 words, give me 1,800 words, give me 2,500 words. So what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to spend all of your time knocking out ridiculously long-form content and then promoting the heck out of it. Is that the plan? If so, you would need quite a large budget, a lot of time, and other social media posts that aren't your blog posts to fill up your Facebook, Twitter, etc. Back to the article. The downside of this is that it looks like there's a lot of collateral damage, apparently. While most established authoritative sites can still get anything to rank, that's true, the little guy or gal now needs to work twice as hard to get Google's good graces. What's made this even more tricky is the fact that a few weeks later, Google started experiencing indexing issues. Many SEO professionals thought the issues they were having were related to this, but after it was resolved, their indexing issues persisted. So you are not alone trying to get your content indexed in Google in 2020. May I make a couple of recommendations? Number one is going live is a good way to get the word out. Voila, here I am. Number two, if you go live on YouTube and Facebook at the same time, if you simulcast using something like Restream, well, there you have it. You're on multiple locations. We're also on LinkedIn, and you can use Buzzsprout to turn your show into a podcast, which people can obviously listen to on iTunes, Spotify, and a number of other podcast platforms. iHeartRadio comes to mind, which is to say, if you have a live show on YouTube that simulcasts on LinkedIn, Facebook, there's 3 links for you. Hey, guess what? Now you have a podcast. You share that on 11 different podcast platforms through Buzzsprout, and now you're building 15 links per show. So if you want to talk about 2020 link building, there you have it. Now, if you want to get really aggressive, you can create YouTube videos that are about the blog itself. So if you go to an 1,800-word blog masterpiece, then you can clearly see a video, tons of photos, that sort of stuff, as increasing the likelihood of you getting indexed in Google. My Skype's blowing up if I seem distracted. That's why. As Facebook works to manage the ongoing tension and confusion around the U.S. election, it seems that something may have gone awry with its ad processing systems, according to socialmediatoday.com, which has caused some major headaches for marketers over the past 24 hours. So if you're having some glitches with Facebook ads, it's not just you. In the afternoon yesterday, U.S. time, Facebook acknowledged that a high number of advertisers were experiencing issues with their accounts, such as ad rejections. This came after a flood of complaints on Twitter as social media managers worked to deal with the problems. In fact, according to one analysis, Google search queries for Facebook ad account disabled jumped 1,050% in just a few hours yesterday, underlying the scope of the issue. So if you're running Facebook ads and you're experiencing some drama, let it be known that you are not the only one. Snapchat is launching Snap Connect. Again, according to socialmediatoday.com, Snapchat has announced an expansion of its Snap Focus marketer education platform. This is code for a system that I do believe is trying to get you better at running ads. It's got a new element called Snap Connect, which features a range of expert insights as part of more advanced courses on how to use the platform for direct response campaigns. For the first time, this is a quote, "Our very own subject matter experts bring you inside the world of Snapchat to show you how to take your direct response advertising to the next level." Each specialized Snap Connect certification offers fresh insights. So you may want to check that out if Snapchat is in your demographic. We're looking at younger folks. Obviously, Snap Connect currently offers 3 streams of certification: mobile gaming, if that's your particular niche, apps, and e-commerce. The courses cover all aspects of Snapchat's various direct response ad offerings. So Snapchat, they're trying to educate folks, but to be fair, they're trying to make more money. So if you go through this Snap Connect, you're probably going to walk away wanting to at least try an ad on Snapchat. Try to go viral. Sacha Baron Cohen's scathing tweet, this from independent.co.uk, Twitter, has marked at least a dozen tweets from President Trump's election. Let's see. I think I pulled the wrong thing on this one. Oops. I'll do this from memory. So Sacha Baron Cohen basically tweeted that if one down, one to go. So in response to President Trump losing the election, he was referring to Mark Zuckerberg as the next potential target. Now, Facebook gets a lot of crap from people. Sacha Baron Cohen referred to it as a gigantic propaganda machine, and you can see it in that light. As a private company, I stand by Facebook's ability to make decisions, but with the new proposition that's being passed, it may come to blows. It may come to the point where Facebook is simply no longer able to make some of the decisions they can make today. So we'll see where this goes. But by and large, let's not forget that Facebook is a pretty incredible technological platform that has changed the world. That being said, should they bear more responsibility for elections and things of that nature? The answer is probably yes. So Twitter labels 12 Trump tweets as misleading. So Twitter has marked at least a dozen tweets from President Trump, this according to foxnews.com, with a disclaimer warning that may contain misleading information. So this sort of misleading information world, labeling world that we find ourselves in isn't going anywhere. It's clear to me that we're going to see a lot of this moving forward, which begs the question, are these social media companies the best arbiters of truth? And I think the argument on the right is that they are not, and on the left is that it's just fine. I think it's fair for private companies to put labels on information. So I guess the better question is, should we have some sort of national ability for politicians to communicate with folks outside of a private enterprise? And I think the short answer is that's not going to work. No one's going to go there. If a government sort of run proliferation of information system were the norm, I don't think anyone would use it. I think private companies are going to dominate this space, just as newspapers have dominated the space for many, many years. And at the end of the day, I do think we're going to see I guess you could argue, a conservative social media platform. I think we will see one, because you can argue that Facebook and Twitter lean a bit to the left So it wouldn't surprise me if a lot of folks on the right kind of established their own space. But it's not as if Facebook and Twitter are campaigning directly for a particular candidate. I'm reminded of Jack Dorsey being cross-examined, it felt like, by Senator Ted Cruz. And it just felt like Dorsey was like a tech customer service guy who was just explaining, like, look, this is the policy and this is how it worked. It didn't seem malevolent to me, but the end result was quite the scandal. So influencer marketing tips, let's go through a few of these. This from entrepreneur.com. So clear key performance indicators. So if you're going to spend money hiring somebody to promote a product on their show, you may want to, I don't know, have a key performance indicator, according to the article, which makes a lot of sense to me. Key performance indicators could be shares, they could be number of views to your webpage, they could be email signups, they could be products sold, just a million different things. Synergy between your brand and your influencer partners. So if you are an internet marketing company, I guess a good influencer for you might be like a chamber of commerce, like the president of a chamber of commerce might be good. If they've got a decent following, because they can say, hey, I've got this great company that does great advertising. The target market is obviously business owners. An easier, more common example would be like Michael Jordan and shoes, Nike and Jordan. Influencer credibility. There are a lot of people that are faking it nowadays. They are basically buying likes on places like Fiverr, trying to look more popular than they actually are. I think there is a deep-rooted psychological component to being a person, or many people, I should say, where you simply want to appear bigger than you actually are. So this is true, obviously, when money is involved. If a business is looking to hire an influencer, and don't be completely fooled by number of followers. That's easy to manipulate, but also number of likes and shares. That's also easy to manipulate. I think a lot of folks, when they see like 1 million followers and not a lot of shares, they go, okay, this is obviously garbage. But if they see a lot of followers, a lot of likes, a lot of engagement, a lot of sharing, they go, okay, well, this is legit. You really have to take a look at the content itself and ask yourself, would a lot of people share this content? And if you are feeling a little bit suspicious about it, there may be good reason, because a lot of folks are manipulating this information. Focus on cultivating a relationship and offer value up front. So if you are going to have a good relationship with an influencer, you really do want to be with them 3 months, 6 months, 9 months down the line. What you can actually end up doing is connecting your brand directly to that person's identity. Nike and Michael Jordan is a good example. They just became sort of one and the same. So pushing that relationship forward as time progresses, very important. Strike the right balance between guidance and creative freedom. So if you think you know what's best, that may not be a good long-term relationship. It's like any other relationship. There's a good give and take. Yes, you are writing the check, but you also are never going to know as much about their audience as they do. Let them make some of those creative decisions. Corroborate that followers are real. This is obvious. Choose the right channel for your campaign. Snapchat versus TikTok versus LinkedIn, etc. You probably in a couple of Google searches can get a pretty good sense of where you should be fighting those battles, and then evaluate engagement rates. And then ending on a sad note today, the incredible Alex Trebek passed away on Sunday. In the era of misinformation, having a show about the facts running for as consecutively long as it did was pretty impressive. And so I've been watching Jeopardy my whole life. I'm reminded of when I was quite young, and it was always on in the background at my great aunt and uncle's house. They were incredible folks. My great aunt Monica is actually where we got my daughter's name, Annika. So rest in peace, Alex Trebek. We appreciate you and all that you did for us here on planet Earth. So 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're here every single Monday through Friday. Join us. Leave a comment in chat. Leave a comment below. Help us out with that Google algorithm. Get more popular. If you're listening to us on the podcast, hey, we really appreciate it. Thank you for downloading. Tell a friend. Google more strict about index content. The basic takeaway is you've got to create really long form content, and with tons of photos. It has to be an exhaustive resource, which is exhausting. Let's be clear about it. It is more difficult than ever to get indexed in Google because everybody's creating 300-word articles or blog posts. Facebook ad issues, if you're experiencing them, you are not alone. Snapchat launches Snap Connect in an attempt to make more money, but you may want to check it out if you're interested in that demographic. Sacha Baron Cohen going after not only Trump, but also Mark Zuckerberg. A lot of folks very unhappy with Facebook. Twitter labels 12 Trump tweets as misleading. Yeah, not surprising. And influencer marketing tips. Basically, try to establish a long-term relationship with a legitimate influencer. And rest in peace, Alex Trebek. Leave us a comment. Email us at info@senditrising.com. We will feature your question on the show if it's a good one. You can give us a ring, 702-263-0141. And, of course, feel free to download that podcast. Listen to the show in your car. That sort of stuff. All right. We will see all of you tomorrow for another exciting episode of Marketing as a Foreign Language. Goodbye.